Easy. All right, that was Wild Wild West. K Wild Wild West. That's her Twitter. Kalisha West, the new WBO champion of the world bantamweight. It'll be interesting to see what she does next. She has some rematches that I know just from the last time talking to her on the show that she really wants to make those right because she felt like, she got the bad end of the stick, the short end of the stick on some of those decisions. And now that she has the belt, like Beeb was saying, and Golden Boy behind her, there might be something to it. So we are going to go back to the lines. 773, what's going on? Who's this? You're on Rope-A-Dope Radio.
Oh, this is Karceno.
Karceno, what's up, man?
What's going on?
Chilling, man, chilling. We're actually waiting for Van Ness, Marta Rosen to call in. He should be calling in here soon. We were actually on the topic. Yeah, definitely. If you want to ask the questions, go right ahead. When he's on there, I'll go to you. But we were on before Kalisha West was on, and we'd like to thank her for being on. She's a great interview. Thank you, Claudia. You guys did great. We were just talking about Glenn Johnson versus Alan Green for the Super 6 Round 3. We all kind of agreed, and kind of, the press kind of ran with it too as well, that we just assumed that it would go right to the semis and then get it done. But it sounds like it's going to be the opposite. Karceno, man, what do you think about Glenn Johnson with the weight? I know he doesn't always weigh in heavy. He says he walks around and he can make around 172, 173 easy in an article I just read. What do you think about Glenn Johnson in the tournament? I mean, against Abraham and Froch, he's got a pretty damn good shot to hurt those guys. And against Alan Green, I think he may be able to knock out Alan Green. What do you think about Glenn Johnson just in general in the whole Super 6 dilemma?
Well, the Super 6, the reason why they're in a dilemma the way they is because they made the tournament a bit too long. When you got 6 fighters, the tournament should not have been going on this long. It should have been an elimination from the start. When you start doing points, and it's too many fights. And injuries happen, and other fights could be more lucrative to people that are not in the tournament. That's why Butte didn't get into the tournament, is because it was too demanding. This is like a 2-year tournament, basically with all these different matches, and then the points. You got to try to keep up with who's got what point. Then what happens if there's a draw? It's just too much. It's too long. It needs to just be shortened. It should have been an elimination tournament from the start, and then just have one winner at the end. But Glenn Johnson being in the tournament is interesting because I want to see what he does, like pretty much with the more weight, but he makes for an exciting fight. Well, before you had European style versus the American style, which is pretty much more like 3 boxers versus 3 guys who basically go for knockouts or just pretty much European style. This is he's a like come forward type guy. It's not too much boxing skills with Glenn. He'll take one and give 2 or 3, so he's gonna make for some exciting fights. And even with Alan Green, it's gonna be interesting if we're gonna see the Alan Green that's overtrained or the Alan Green that's gonna come in the fight, because mentally he can get taken out of the fight easily. If he feels the fight is not in his favor in the first 2 rounds, he'll just shut down. So it's pretty interesting.
No, that's for sure. What do you think about the weight? We were talking about this earlier, and B made a great point about, he hasn't weighed 166 or 160-something since 2000. Like I said, I did read an article recently that he says I can make 172 pretty darn easily, and he weighs in around that weight. He said 168 it isn't a problem, but of course he's going to say that. We've always heard that, and then after the fight, it's a problem.
It's going to slow him down, and that's the thing about it is he will not be as active as we're used to seeing Glenn Johnson. He slowed in his last fight quite a bit against Cloud. Yeah. I was a little shocked about that.
Even against Judah, too. He looked a little slow against Judah, too.
Yeah.
In the second fight against Dawson, too.
Yeah, his age is starting to come in a little bit. He's got to be a little bit more selective. And that's going to play into the advantages to the other guys. But he's at the point in his career now where he's looking for paydays. He's looking for what he should have gotten years ago when a couple of decisions didn't go his way. A fight that he clearly won the first Dawson fight.
Right. Ashy, what do you think about Glenn Johnson coming in to the Super 6? Obviously, Karceno made some good points. I mean, in general, we all like the single elimination because of all the things can go wrong. Obviously, the opposite of that, and it's something that I've said too. The first 2 rounds of fights have been solid matchup for the most part, and we would have never gotten these guys to, those 6 guys to fight back-to-back-to-back fights. That's something that just doesn't happen in the world of boxing for the most part. So that's a plus. But yeah, it would have been nice to be single elimination. I'm not going to lie. But I have to say, as long as the weight is okay on him, I believe he can beat Abraham and Froch. I really do. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Let's say that the weight is decent, okay? What do you guys think? Does anyone think that Glenn Johnson or that Froch and Abraham, you guys think that those are fights that are very winnable over Glenn Johnson?
Knock him out. Abraham will stop him.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, Cloud's got some power in himself too, and better hand speed.
Yeah,
and he's a volume puncher.
Cloud was, to me, in my opinion, I think he was a little too young for Glenn Johnson. Abraham is a very experienced fighter. He's going to know when to throw his punches. He's going to know how to time Glenn Johnson. I think it's a little different when you talk about those 2 fighters.
Hey, what's up, guys? Is Vanes Martirosyan?
Vanes Martirosyan, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
I feel good, guys. Sorry I came on a little late. I'm outside.
Don't even sweat it, man. Yeah, Blog Talk Radio, at times it's a great outlet, great source and everything, but at times it's such a busy, popular site that even we have problems.
But people might say, you did this or you did that, you're not that good enough. Well, if I'm not that good, then it shouldn't be a problem to beat me. Just fight me and beat me. That's all I want. The reason why I got into the sport was to prove myself and to see what my limits are. And, I'm trying to test my limits, but I can't because the guys that I'm trying to test it against, the best that have the titles, they don't want to fight.
Man.
They have a fighter, Eric Landy Laura, and he was trying to get a fight with you at 54. But
was that Sergio?
He's only... No, Eric Landy Laura.
Oh, yeah. We talked to them people. I think that people call up people, they talked, and then they come to an agreement, or I don't know what happened with that, but, I'm willing to fight Laura, I'm willing to fight anybody. It doesn't matter who the guy is. I want to fight. I want somebody to have the balls to step up and be like, I'm ready to fight. Nobody's doing that nowadays. Everybody's just chasing after money and chasing after fights. I remember back in the days when people fought for honor and respect. Nowadays it's just like, I want to fight you. I want to fight this guy because I'll get paid more if I fight this guy. But people know that if you fight this guy, the other guy, there'll be more exciting fight for the fantasy, for boxing. And you know what I mean? The next fight, you can make even much more. People don't think of like that. They just go for the big fights, and that's all they care about these days, and that's not right.
All right. Go ahead, Karceno. What do you got for Vanes?
Hey, how you doing, man? Yeah, I wanted to just ask you. I just wanted to ask you a quick question, and then I can go back to listening to the interview. What do you think about Sal Alvarez, them putting him ahead and talking about giving him a shot at the WBC title when you've been at this division for a while trying to get these guys to fight you?
Well, I think what that is, it all has to do with the WBC. Jose Suleiman, he's ranking all the Latino fighters up there. Margarito never fought anybody, takes 2 years off, all of a sudden comes back and he's ranked number 1. I don't know how that works, how the ranking works, because people just change it up any way they want to do it. Sal Alvarez, whoever it is, man, he's just a kid, and he's gonna get his too. But I want to fight him. I'll fight him too. I'll fight Alvarez, and after I'm done with Alvarez, I'll fight Chavez Jr. the same night, and then I need a break. The next night I'll fight Cotto. I'll fight any of those guys, and I'm ready for them. So it's heartbreaking that you see guys that you can knock out and beat. And all of a sudden, people are talking about them more than talking about you. And that's why, I regret not giving everything I had in all my fights. I'm 28-0. People haven't seen 100% of me. They've only seen 70%. And, it's crazy that with that 70%, I'm undefeated, but then there's people who are ranked, are better. They're not better than me, but they're ranked higher than me. And, that just makes me more hungry. Next time, wherever I fight, I'm just going to go kill them so people don't say anything else about me. They just go, okay, yeah, he belongs there.
Please give me that Kermit Centron fight.
Kermit's a frog, man. That guy's I don't know what's wrong with that guy, man. He should go to Hollywood and become an actor. You know, the guy talks every time. He's always complaining every single fight. Dude, you know what's funny is when Sergio Martinez hit him, when he turned to the referee, he's like, he headbutted me. And the whole thing, you know, it's funny that when Ronnie Shields and stuff, we were all laughing about it with Ronnie Shields. Ronnie Shields like, this guy right here, he goes, I'm happy he didn't say he kicked me. So, yeah, man, Kermit, I would love to fight Kermit, but I think Kermit's fights are out in big cages. You know, we have a cage here. You know, we can even do a fight here at my gym. I'll fight him in the cage. There's no way he could jump out of the ring.
Do you think because of the
he should be a lawyer or an actor because he can talk that. He talked that ref into saying he didn't get knocked out. I don't know how that ever went to happen. That's crazy. Right? He talked him right into it, man. He should go to law school.
Yeah, he got knocked out twice, and then at the end he gets a draw. And that really sucks for Sergio, because I think Sergio's a great fighter, and he doesn't get the recognition and the respect that he deserves from boxing fans and people around the world.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. He's a hell of a fighter.
I think that any sport Sergio does, he's going to be good at it because he's athletic.
Yep. Go ahead, Karceno. What you say?
I said, do you think because of the way you spar, because you put on like professional fight sessions and spar, and you even dropped Roman Karmazin and sparred. Do you think that's what shied a couple of people away from making fights with you?
You guys should have been there, and I wish people would record when I fought Sergio Zenzo, because I kicked his ass, and I busted him up so bad they stopped the sparring session, and then sometimes I wish there was a camera I could put a hidden camera in the gym and record all of that, so when I talk and people talk back, and I just put the proof on it. And they could be like, oh, man, he got it on video, and they can't say nothing. So, I don't know what it is, but I'm ready.
It's like Golden Boy has all these fighters. Why isn't Victor Ortiz fighting Amir Khan? You know what I'm saying? Like, why aren't these guys fighting each other? Even
not
Gary
Golden
Shaw.
Boy's plan.
Exactly.
That's HBO's plan. HBO had a contract drawn up for that fight. They don't want to do it. They want Amir Khan and Victor Ortiz to be the two major guys at 140. Then they're going to have a mega fight to see who's going to be the champion at 140 between those two. They're looking years down the road for putting that fight on. Golden Boy is. They're not interested in putting those two in the ring right now.
Well,
they love what Amir Khan's doing for them overseas, and they love what Victor's doing right now. They want to bring Victor up.
Well, we'll see. That's all I can tell you. We'll see what happens.
That's the thing what Top Rank does and Don King does. They can develop talent. They can develop the younger fighters. Golden Boys never developed a fighter. They normally poach. They see who's doing good somewhere else, and then when it's time for their contract to be up, they just outbid, and then just take fighters away from other promoters that spent all this money building them up, like Juan Diaz and all these other fighters. They
get a lot of vets, too, and throw them right in with one of their guys, but it's usually when they're a little too old. Like Nate Campbell and Harris. Yeah. Karceno, what do you think about what we're talking about with Golden Boy? I know you talked a little bit about it, but what do you think about those statements? And then kind of piggyback off what JR said with Paul Malignaggi. Like I said,
what they're doing now is they want to be involved in every fight. They want to control all the major pieces in almost every division, where even if you the smaller promoters, if they try to get their fight to a championship fight, he's going to have to fight somebody on Golden Boy, and Golden Boy is going to have to say because it'll be their card. They're going to have all the main spots, and therefore they're drying up the money for the other promoters to where they're going to end up having to fold and lose all their top fighters, and they're not making any money. And that's how they're going to monopolize the game, and that's where he's going. And that's what he's doing to people like Lou DiBella. And that's why DiBella and all these guys are complaining, because the reason why Paulie signed with Golden Boy is because DiBella really couldn't get him a fight that would generate him, that's even worth getting him any money for. So that's why he ended up just going ahead and signing with Golden Boy. He didn't want to be, unloyal. So this is a word I heard. I've yet to talk to Paulie because I can get to him personally. I want to hear from him. But from a publicist of his or somebody, a fan, is telling me that's the reason why he couldn't get a fight. that was worthy of the money that he thinks that he should be getting, because everybody else, top rank, Golden Boy.